there, I'm Eric Tennant, and today I'm going to do is upgrade it to a 350 watt controller. Well, it says 350 watts to, that's actually 17 amps, so it's closer to 500 watts. And in return, that'll also replace the screen right here. The thing we're going to want to do is open the bike up to get access to the controller. So I'm just going to lay it over on its side like that. It wants to kind of naturally sit, so that'll work. Yeah, and the controller is located in this back part here. To remove these 4 screws around the sides, and that'll allow access to the controller. So pretty much down in here, we can go ahead and unplug this XT60 here, taking the plate off, and we can just pull all the wires and everything back to get to the controller. And ta-da! There she is. You can see the new controller is just barely bigger, so yeah, definitely will not have any problems fitting inside of there. Okay, looks like a pretty much one-for-one situation on replacing a lot of the wires. The only one I'm going to come into an issue with is the hall sensor. I got 5 wires on the current system, and I got 6 wires on the new one. From what I understand, one is probably a temperature wire and can just be left unconnected. Not too sure which one that is. I hear yellow on some models, so definitely gonna have to do some trial and error there. But everything else looks like pretty much a one-for-one connection. I should be able to just unplug things and start plugging other things in. So I'm gonna start doing that real quick and see how well everything matches. Okay, so there's the old controller entirely removed. So now I attempt to plug in the new one. And I'm gonna go ahead and plug in screen to there and just leave it connected just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and gain access to the battery so I can plug it in to see what kind of situation I'm dealing with here. And voila, there's the battery. All right, don't got the phase wires hooked up. A lot of stuff actually isn't hooked up. See if it turns on. Oh, it turns on, that's definitely promising. But yeah, it's throwing at air. I already can see at the bottom right there. Unfortunately, error 08. Probably the hall sensors, honestly. I don't know. Oh wow, it cleared for like half a second. So it's definitely not working yet. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna clip here to get access to the phase wires to try to adapt it to that clip there. Yep. Go ahead and give all these a good old strip so I can have access to the actual wire inside. Oh, almost got them all, missed one. All right, so I got all my phase wires exposed there. And we're gonna try to just match them up according to color. I don't know how well that's gonna work. Go ahead and clip it here to be able to take the harness off the old one so I don't have some kind of consistency here. Got the phase wires hooked up as best as I can. I just got them all just separated from each other. Then I got the white wire just sitting free, not connected to anything. So cross our fingers, let's see what happens. Turn it on. Okay, I'm no longer getting air there. Fortunately, I don't have the throttle hooked up. Actually, it came with the throttle. I think I'm gonna hook that up real quick just for testing purposes. It's a little hard to use the pedal assist. The bike folded up like this. Green, black, red. Okay, so I need to find a wire that looks somewhat like that. Let's go ahead and turn this off while I'm doing this. Let's see the throttle from that side. Got the throttle hooked up into it, and all the pass wires except for the white one hooked up, just color coded. I got the throttle working good. I'm not seeing any. Okay, I finally got the phase wires figured out. Everything's pretty exact, except I'm pretty sure, I'm still in testing on this, you leave off the yellow wire and then you connect the white wire to the yellow wire on the DYU, and that'll get the speed working and everything on the controller. Show you guys a quick test here. Let's go ahead and turn her back on. And I just went ahead and hooked up the throttle that came with the controller kit to give it a quick test. I still got to get in there and hook the DYU throttle up into the screen, but this works for a good test. So as you can see, it is going now, and okay, I definitely question the miles per hour. It definitely doesn't seem like it's working properly. You see the tire changing speeds and the... Okay, so I got a little bit more testing to do on that one. I'll get back to you guys when I get that working a little bit better. But it's definitely, the white wire is definitely the speedometer. I just got to find the corresponding wire on the motor to actually give it the right data, if possible. I mean, I would assume that it does. This thing had a speed limiter on it before of 15 miles per hour. So it's either the motor just plain and simply could never go that fast, or there actually is a speed reading in it. So I'm going to keep playing around with it. I like to use these wires here to do my testing. It makes it a lot easier than twisting and putting them back on. But I'll go through and do different tests. Basically what wire should be hooked up to give me the proper speed readings. This here is the pedal assist, and this over here is a pedal assist. Unfortunately, they're two females, so yeah, that's not going to work. So I'm going to take the male connection off this controller and put it on this controller. And of course the color code is entirely different, so I'll have to do a little bit of trial and error. To find what these wires were from here, I just started pulling on the outside of it, tracing it back to where the sensor was. So I know for sure this is the pedal assist here. Let's see if I can figure out any kind of logic to these wires. Yeah. So basically now I have 3 wires and I have no exact clue what order to hook them up in. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys when I find the right order for these to be hooked up into. There's my first try, black to black, yellow to green, and red to brown there. The odds of that working are a little slim. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. I'm not getting any air. Let's see, throttle. Throttle's working. Okay, let's see if we can get some pedal assist out of it now. Say something's off with that because I can barely pedal. It won't move. Oh, you're on the brakes, dumbass. That explains a lot, actually. Let's try that again. All right, try 2 now that I'm not pushing the brake in. I believe pedal assist is working. Nice. I got lucky the first try and hooked it up right. That's interesting. That usually doesn't happen for me. Yeah, she's working. Okay, and to solder it up, I got these cool little heat shrink water seal type deals. These just make connecting wires a lot easier. It's pretty much, I just take the wire, slide this on over, and I take the wire I want to connect it to, and I'll just twist them together like you normally would. So now I slide that on there until the middle of the wire is where the solder is. And since there's so many wires here real tightly, I could use a heat gun, but it'd probably melt other wires. So I'm going to use the lighter. It's able to direct the heat more where I need it. So you just heat them up, the 2 ends, seal them off, has like a gel type stuff in it, and the middle solder comes and makes a nice solid connection there that isn't going to come apart. Let me get a little bit more right there, get that nice. And yeah, I love these. So I'm going to get the rest done real quick. And for the throttle cable, it's the same thing. It's backwards, so I'm going to have to change the male head to a female head so it'll plug into the bike. While I'm at it, DYU changed the logic on the throttles. They swapped it's normally a green and black wire on the thing, which makes it really hard to change it. I'm going to go ahead and wire this back to the default Bifang type wiring on it. So it's easier when the throttle goes out to be able to replace it without having to rewire the throttle each time. So basically same thing. I need to take the heads off, test it, get it to work, and then I'll put the heat shrinks on. Bam, to the future. Okay, so got the throttle working. Basically, throttle that was already on it was swapped in the other video so it would work with the DYU without having to rewire the thing, so you wouldn't void your warranty at all. Basically now I swapped it back so it'll work more with the basic setup that everybody's on, where the black and green wire are in their proper order. I don't know why they decided to swap their stuff around. I guess maybe they're trying to sell their own throttles, but they don't have any listed up on their site. So it's either you swap it there or you swap it there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those sealed up real quick. Okay, I got all the brake connections switched over to a female connection so the male connection can go into it. Also went ahead and swapped over the light connection so it was proper to plug into this. So what I got to do now is I got to permanently connect these wires, and then pretty much I just got to wire the display, which will be fun routing it. May have to chop the end off, not sure yet. Okay, everything's hooked back up. Just gonna give it a quick test before I start. Pick it back up and try to reroute the screen. Actually, I give it a test after each piece I connect. Nice, everything's coming on fine. Oh, let's put that up there and test the motor. Nice. All right. So now I gotta flip it over the right way, I think, now to route the wires and everything to get the screen. What to do is remove all these wire covers so I can actually get to the wire. Okay, got the old screen off. I ended up just cutting the end off to be able to get it to slide out of the rubber garments. I fear on the new one I'm Probably gonna have to cut the ends off to get it to feed back in, and then I'm gonna have to solder on the 7 wires that connect it. Looks like this one has a little hinge one, so I actually don't have to remove everything from the handlebars before I put it on. That's definitely nice. I just loosely put it on so I can rotate it, because I may need to flip the bike over during the wire process. Not sure yet. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately there's no way to get these heads through that rubber garment all the way, and then there's another rubber garment right there. I got to get it up into the cavity, so I'm definitely gonna have to cut the heads off of them. Just got to remember, brown and white is to the light. Brown and white is to the light, it'll make everything bright. Brown and white is to the light. Okay, brown and white is to, okay, cut it there and there, and lucky everything is color coded, because that's a lot of wires. Brown and white is to the light. Oh, I guess I don't have to remember. It's on the connector. But I made a song, so it's okay, I guess. Now, because the middle of this pole is hollow, that's the next trick, is getting it to push through the rubber garment straight through. Okay, so here's what I came up with. I took one of the Allen wrenches and electrical tape and taped it to the end. So let's see if that'll work. Shove it right through there. It slid down. Well, I gotta find out a way to get it to stop doing that. And again, this is gonna take a few tries. The times pushing it back and forth just by itself, it was stiff enough, luckily, to go through there. So now I just got to go through the top garment there. Just tested it out, everything's working great. So now I just need to shove the controller and all these wires back in there and put the cover plate back on for the battery. I think this will definitely be the easier position to do that, so I'm not fighting the fold on the bike. Just got to unplug the battery here. That goes into the 2 case ends. So that is a very tight fit with the wires. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going any bigger on the controller. 500 watts is probably as big as it's going to fit in there with the wires. Unless you planned on making them all very stubby, which that's possible, but would be hard to work with. Plus, I got to get the back end of this cover plate in there as well. Try to orient it right. Positives on the bottom. Yeah, definitely want to make sure you get the plates on the same way. Be a little dangerous otherwise. So yeah, positives on the bottom. I believe that is the way it's supposed to be. If not, I'll flip it around, but yeah, definitely don't want to match those up the wrong way. And if you don't understand that, you probably shouldn't be tearing your e-bike apart. 2 plates on, lost a screw. So now I can put the bike back into a bike form and clean up all the wiring. Wagga wagga. Nice. Did a couple tests with it so far out on the road. It's Phoenix, Arizona, so we're like 105, 110 Fahrenheit right now. So the appears of the magnets are, I believe, somewhere in between probably like 18 and 30 magnets on it. I'm trying to get it by calibrating the speed to get it to show what speed I'm going based off GPS to find out how many magnets it is. So yeah, I'm just kind of backwards engineering, trying to figure out how many magnets are in it. But other than that, other than the speedometer, everything is working great. Seems to definitely have a little bit more pick-me-up to it. I have a suspicion that the BMS is also probably limited, probably around 7 to 10 amps. So that's probably the next bottleneck in it. So I'd have to get into the battery, upgrade the BMS, and then that should definitely unlock more speed. But it feels like it's definitely going over 15 already. Gonna get out and give it a quick little road test. Bike says I'm going 23 miles per hour. And no, I doubt that, but it does feel faster. When I clocked it before any kind of modifications, it was going barely over 14 miles per hour. They advertise it at 15 and a half. I do weigh a little over 200 pounds, fair enough for it. But we'll see off this one. I'll pull off my satellite tracking to see what I'm actually going, and then adjust the magnets from there to try to get the actual speed right. I don't know how many magnets exactly it has on it, but yeah, right now it says I'm going up to 25. This power bar on it, oddly enough, probably can't see it on there, there's a little bit of glare, has 6 bars on it. Comes out to 16.66 per bar. But yeah, this definitely feels better. I have a feeling any bottleneck that it probably has now is probably in the actual battery itself. Which I may be getting into that to be able to make it solar. Yeah, definitely quite a bit of more pick-me-up. Let's see, I just want to get a bit of data on there. Check my phone. Okay, with no pedaling, I was able to do a max mile per hour of 16 miles per hour there. Well, 16.1 to be fair enough. So I did give it 2 more miles per hour on the thing. So pretty sure now the bottleneck has to be in the battery. Let me see how fast I can get it to go when I'm pedaling with it. Because before it was still capping off, I was not getting any faster than the 15. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another test, but pedaling this time. Oh, I also wanted to adjust the magnets. What was I saying, like 24, and it's reading, it's only going 16. So I gotta go back into the menus, try to adjust that. I'm gonna go down to 30 magnets now. It feels right to me at 30. It's saying it's going 15.6. It's not too far off from the top. I believe that. I think that may be it, 30 magnets. Gonna check the stats again to see if that's about right. The 15.5. Stats say 15.2, so I'm gonna call that a match right there. Nice. It's probably as close as I could get it. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe I'd have to go up to like 31. Yeah, I think that would be off there. There's always a little bit of discrepancy between a bike and GPS. So nice, I'm gonna take that. 30 magnets is how many this wheel has. At least that's what the way I got it hooked up anyways. Now I'm gonna see how fast we can get it up to pedaling, considering this controller, well, I had control over the governing and I took it all off. So we're just gonna assume the speedometer is accurate. This bike has 1 gear. All right, 16.3. 18, nice. So yeah, I already could tell you it's faster because before it would cut off at 15 miles per hour on the other one. This one's not cutting off. Of course, it looks ridiculous for a full-grown man to be trying to pedal this, whatever. Nice. Oh no, she's going good. She's keeping a good 16, 17 miles per hour. So I definitely increased the speed on it. Oh man, the battery's a 36 volt. I think if I make it a removable battery, I can make it a 48 volt. Even more interesting enough, I could make it a solar battery to where, I don't know, it'd be interesting. I'll try to hook a solar trailer up to this thing. Woohoo! Nice. Meow. Not a bad little upgrade. Yeah, I think the battery will probably be the third upgrade I'll do on it. Just kind of top it off, give it its full potential for its size. Let me just go ahead and stop and check the motor temperature here real quick. This one don't have a temperature sensor on it, so I'm gonna use the old style of my hand. Slightly warm, nothing to be concerned about though. I can lay my hand on it without any problems. Nice, no problems. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, have a great day.